Greetings and welcome. Welcome in. Greetings, dear viewer. I wanted to update you on the infinite dimensions of the God Force. And if you recall, back when I first introduced this series, it's been some time now, but I went through this and explained how I use this energy of anger as a cosmic alchemist and transmuted it into a creative force. And within that very same night when I made this decision, I created this first book, Infinite Dimensions of the God Force and Ceremonies of Intimated Power. And then the update is as follows. So since that time, I guess maybe it's roughly been maybe a month, a little less, give or take. The book, that one book, has grown into a 7-book series. And I'm going to just kind of briefly share the titles of the books, and then I want to read a brief excerpt to clarify, to contextualize this use of sort of dark imagery that I, in my creative aspect, I tend to employ. And specifically with reference to this Lucifera, who is actually the mother goddess, the creative force that interacts with the masculine principle, but it is the other polarity to creation, because there would not be any creation without light or darkness and the infinite permutations thereof. Okay. So I wanted to kind of read a little bit about how that relates to this entire series, and perhaps, there's a lot of people that are kind of just freaking out right now with revelations that are taking place, at the sheer evil, the capacity of evil that has taken place. And I think most people know deep down, but when it becomes involved with children, they freak out, and for good reason. And that's a whole nother issue that really ultimately becomes dealt with the more that we grow powerful in our knowledge of the light, and conversely with our powers to face this kind of evil and do away with it. And that is what this series of books is ultimately purposed for, to empower the people. Todos los entes del mundo. Todos los entes del mundo. So anyway, we have the first book, which I've talked about, and then second book, Dimensions of the God Force, Archons of Imitation, so on and so forth. And then we have the third book, Dimensions of the God Force, the Lunar Gate, and the Discipline of Resonance. And this is all on Amazon if you want to go look this up under the author Mark Thomas MAGUIRE. Make sure you put in my middle name. Then we go on to book 4, where it talks about this organization, the Umbanda New Elohim Ashram. Then we have book 5, Dimensions, Gates Without Symbols. And book 6, Cosmic Scriptures, which I want to read from and contextualize a little bit about this imagery, this Lucifera name and imagery, and what it represents. And then we have currently, and I believe this is where I'm going to hold up, I may do one more beyond for 8 books in the series. 8 is a divine number of infinity, and I think I may do one more book, but volume 7 is the Machine God Codex of the Ancients, Ancient Artificial Intelligence, and so on and so forth. So I want to read a little bit from the volume 6, Cosmic Scriptures. So this is a forbidden codex, unfolds in a void of black plasma. Pages etched with shifting Nag Hammadi style glyphs, glowing with infernal light. From the center of the abyss rises Lucifera, the dark mother of the God Force, her form a fusion of cosmic goddess and biomechanical architecture, wings unfurling in obsidian fractal geometry. Towering serpentine deities coil around collapsing stars, their breath a whisper of the Kundalini currents that pulse through all worlds. And then it's a little dramatized here. Reptilian emissary, ancient and interdimensional, narrates from the Council of Living Metal, eyes burning with arcane intelligence. If heaven is within you, so is hell. If the God Force flows, so does the fire of Lucifera. To awaken is to hold both. And then it goes on and on, a little bit more dramatic. But essentially, Lucifera, the feminine aspect, the God Force, Lucifera is the Kundalini God Force, is who she represents, is the primordial spark coiled at the base of the human subtle body. Its spiral encode the laws of creation. Energy becomes form, form becomes energy. All is one. And Lucifera is the archetypical guardian and activator of this power, the dark threshold which one must pass to truly awaken. She is the dark luminous pulse that catalyzes integration of shadow and light, matter and spirit, human and cosmic. Lucifer embodies the tension of creation and destruction, holding the seeker in a state of sacred hostility. Not personal wrath, but ontological necessity. The aspirant cannot negotiate with her. Alignment with the God Force is the only path to transcendence. And it goes on and go forth. I don't want to read on. And then I touch upon the legacy of the Orion War and how that's symbolic, because the universe is mental, all is mind. We bring this all back within our own consciousness and understand all of this. We empower ourselves. Okay, that's what this is all about, self-empowerment. And so, but I wanted to share that with you to understand that in this realm that we are incarnated in this realm of physicality, there is no all good. There is no all evil. There are various permutations thereof. When you are in these physical bodies, there is no action that is all good. Anything that you do at some level can be bad for someone. So the point is that this polarity, this duality is what is driving people insane, and ultimately is what has been exploited to keep this dark cabal in power, and chiefly through their organized religion and the external savior program of people giving their power away. Okay. And so, I mean, you telling me that if a hawk is flying about and it sees a mouse down in the field and it goes, swoops in and gets its dinner, yes, that is a good action for the hawk, but a terrible day for the mouse. So we are trying to blend this endeavor with this series of books, is to blend the hawk and the mouse and become a mock or a Mark Thomas MAGUIRE. Look it up, folks. Look up the Infinite Dimensions of the God Force book series and rise into this golden age. Namaste. Namaskaram.
Namaste. Namaste.